All right. Hi, welcome back, everyone. If you missed the first part in this series of Making Your Case, I'll give you a short recap. We talked about the importance of advocacy. We went over some key terms, things that you'll hear, so that you'll be well informed when people are talking around you. And when we start talking about advocacy and effective advocacy, some of those terms you would have already had prior knowledge on. So let's get into the second part, our second module of Making Your Case, being the advocate, what that means, and how to be an effective advocate. So I am going to share my screen so you can see the slide or the presentation, Making Your Case, being an advocate. All right. So if you missed our presentation earlier, you would have not heard about all the wonderful things that Family Network on Disability does. So we are family driven, we're a 501(c), and you'll hear throughout the presentation how FND supports families to make sure that they have the right information so that they can make informed decisions for their families. The goal is that you become your child's best advocate, and that you have the information and that you know what it is that needs to happen. So we're not attorneys, doctors, paralegals, or medical professionals, but we are a group of passionate individuals who care about providing you with information, resources, and support. So let's get into it. Making your case, being an advocate. So when you think of advocacy, what do you think? Are you thinking about, oh my goodness, there's more than one part? So let's get into, this presentation is going to talk about the 3 A's of advocacy: knowing who you talk to, who you need to know in the district, understanding the rules and compliancy, and also having a greater understanding of the issue. So the 3 A's of advocacy: awareness, advancement, and action. So we'll break these out a little bit later in the presentation. So honestly, get out of your head that you can do anything else, even a little. So keep your eye on the ball. So we want to make sure that we're credible. We want to make sure that we're trusted in what we are saying. We have good reason to say, right? Knowing who you talk to. So are you advocating at the district or the state level? Are you requesting a legislative record? Are you sitting on a committee, or do you know who those key players are on the committee? And where's the seniority scale? So which party? So this is all a part of being an informed and an effective advocate. So let's go into the district. So let's, when you go to Tallahassee or when you go to Washington, this will be helpful, so you just won't be another face in the crowd. So you want to make sure that you're engaging in meaningful discussion. And for that, you want to make sure that you know the pros and the cons of the issue that you have gone to support. Okay, exchanging phone calls. So when you call and you'll get an administrative assistant, or you may even speak to that person's legislative aide, make sure that you're kind, because that person is going to be the one who's relaying that information to your elected official. You want to make sure that you're sharing valuable, up-to-date resources. So I know we're almost bridging the gap of 2020 here. So anything that I would give a legislator that would be in 2010 would be considered outdated. We want to make sure that you're willing to take action, because you see the causes, you see the concern, and you're engaging your district so that they can understand the concerns that you have as a community stakeholder. So I said a little bit earlier about knowing the issues. So you have to have a good understanding of what those bills are. Educate yourself on the difference between a Senate bill and a House bill. Is there a companion to those bills? Sometimes no, sometimes yes. So you can find a lot of that information, and the link is below to access Florida legislators' website, you can look on the online sunshine. So read through it and try to understand the bills that are out there. And remember that song, learning how I'm just a bill, a little old bill, or watching Schoolhouse Rock. That is still the same process on how a bill becomes a law. So that's part of knowing your facts. In knowing those facts, you want to make sure, again, we said earlier, is being credible. So knowing your information, knowing the most current information, and you want to know both sides of the issue. So having this information at your fingertips will help you with whoever you're speaking with at that legislative platform. Understanding the rules. I love this picture because it's a chess piece. So understanding what that legislative process is. Remember Schoolhouse Rock from the previous slide, or from mentioning it from the previous slide? Understand how a bill becomes a law. And if you're having difficulty with some of the lingo, or even some of the terminology, you can always go back to my first presentation on the importance of advocacy. And you want to make sure that you find a mentor. A mentor will be somebody who would be helpful in explaining all of the avenues of the legislative process. So I'm going to go a little bit more into understanding the rules and learning how to schedule meetings. So you don't want to be picky during this time. So if your legislator or your legislative aide can give you 10 minutes, make the most of those 10 minutes. In the next 2 modules, you'll learn about how to make that opener, how to have clear and succinct message within 2 minutes. So learning when to schedule those meetings, because they may give you 5 minutes, they may give you 10 minutes. So learn all of that, learn how to schedule the meetings, and then learn legislative etiquette. So what is legislative etiquette? You know, walking the walk, talking the talk, learning to dress for the part. So you want to make sure that you have on business attire and that you're also managing your emotions, because you want to make sure that what you are saying has been heard. And for more information on state bills, you can click the link, or not click the link, or you can go to the link, which is our Florida legislative statutes. So you want to make sure in scheduling a meeting that you always follow up. You always send an email, or maybe even a handwritten note. That would be helpful to send it to your legislator, to let them know that you appreciate the time that they gave to hearing your concern, your request, or that they even heard what is happening in your community. So you always want to follow up and make sure that you are addressing it correctly. So if it's going to the House, you're identifying the House terminologies that need to go into that letter. If you are addressing it to the Senate, make sure you are, and vice versa. So I know it was a short module, but it was hopefully you got everything that you need to start your process in becoming an advocate, an effective advocate. Thank you for joining in today. I appreciate your time, Facebook family and friends. If you have any questions, or you want more information on the importance of advocacy or becoming an advocate, you can always reach out to FND at fndfl.org. Before we go, I want to make sure that I talk about FND University, that there's a lot of presentations that we have done on FND University that really go into a deeper dive. You also, since you're on Facebook, you'll see lots of videos that we've done on Facebook across all 5 of our grants that Family Network on Disabilities is that are housed under Family Network on Disabilities. So here's our information below. And as I said, or you can reach us, you can call in 1-800-825-5736. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a good day. Until this evening, where you can catch the other two Making Your Cases with Janelle Wells with our Family Star program. Okay, everyone have a wonderful day.